having difficult conversations with emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence when having difficult conversations? It is the understanding of the impact that your words and your actions have on the people around you. So how are the most common ways of how people communicate today when they want to convey a difficult topic? Number one, people think about it logically. I might have a customer event. I want to talk to Sally on how we can do that customer event. So I sit down, I think logically, number one. I think number two about a plan. How should that event done in the most effective way? And we might want to do the event in 6 weeks. So for me, it's the most logical thing to ask for invitations to be sent out within the next 2 weeks. Now, while that sounds logical to me, it might not necessarily sound logical to Sally. So Sally might say, well, how have you considered my opinion in this? So as soon as that happens, the only way we have is to argue for our point of view and argue for what we think is right, which we logically thought through. So the only way that is left for us is to have arguments and talk about who's right and who's wrong. So how can we do that emotionally intelligently from a new perspective? So 10 items to take into account. Number one, what's Sally's or what's the person's point of view that you're talking to? What's the point of view that they're having about you or about the topic you're about to talk to? So Sally might have the topic of me, that I'm always having my understanding and my way in every project. So the impact, number two, of that point of view might be that Sally is immediately, let's put it this way, immediately defensive. So she might actually say, Marcus, you always want your way. What about my way? What about my opinion? Number three, what is your point of view about the person? So I might think that Sally is always late. So number four, the impact on me is that I'm thinking that she might not be the right person for the job because she can't be responsible. So number five, what is it that we could do about that, about those points of views as well as the impact? Well, we can give them all up and create the space in which true innovation and generosity and creation is created. Number six, we can also look into how do the people around us take information into account. Do they take it via their eyes, meaning that they're visual? Do they take it via their ears, meaning they're auditory? Or do they take it via their feelings? Do they articulate the way they feel? So they say, I feel good about this, or I feel that we need to do a few more steps here. Watch and listen for how people articulate on what they suggest. They might say, I see this can work. I hear that this sounds good. And they say, I think this sounds good. Or they say, I feel good about this. Number seven, what else can you do? Number seven, important, look people in the eyes. Number eight, be open, show an open, straight body posture. And number 9 and number 10, have fun and be open to the conversation and listen completely newly for what's possible in the conversation. So that's how it goes.